Hello all, welcome to day 1 Scratch programming. So in this day 1 we are going to see how to log in to our Scratch account. If you are a new user, then we have to use a join Scratch option, or if you are an existing user, then you can sign into your Scratch accounts. So if you are a new user, please create your accounts using join Scratch. I'm just giving some username like funny cat is my username. Okay, this username is already taken, so you have to give a unique username so that you will be able to get your usernames properly. So this funny cat 22 is also there. So one. Okay, so this name is not taken, so I got this name funny cat 1995, and then I'm going to create my password maybe. So I'll just so after you get the username, then you just click on select the country wherever you are there. So you can select your country. So after selecting your country, you can click next. So then the month of your born date and the year and the gender. You can select your gender. So then you can give your email address. So this email address, you can give your parents' mail ID so that you'll be able to create your account at the end of this particular thing. So I'm giving my mail ID. So after giving your mail ID, so your parents' mail ID, create your account. So once you create the account, you can sign into your account and you can start using it. So then we can click on the create once you are signed in. So when you are signed in, you can click on the create, and this is how your Scratch screen will look like. So first let us explore what is this Scratch software has, this screen has. So we have so many fields. Let us explore from left to right. Okay, so here you have something called as code. So in code you have so many different color palettes. So these are called as code palettes or block palettes. Okay, so under each block palette we have different coding blocks. So for example, motion has move, turn, this is turn right, turn left, go to random position, and or go to a particular XY position on the screen. So all these things, we have a lot of different code blocks under each code palette or block palette. So we can call it as block palette. Okay, so this is called as a looks. So under looks we have so many different blocks. Sounds, we have different blocks. Like this we have different blocks under each block palette, and this is where we write our code, and this is called as a script area. So where we can drag and drop our script. For example, I can just drag my block called as when flag is clicked. So whenever we do something, we always take this events block on the first. So because we need to do some event and then we will get the program running. So to run my program, I have to click this flag. So that's what I'm just writing here in my script area, and then later I want to move 10 steps. So in my script area I can just drag and drop the blocks from the block palette, and I can see my output on the screening area, where this is the output area for me. And below the output area I have a properties for this particular sprite. So what is sprite? Sprite is something, sprite is nothing but a character here. Okay, so you have a cat character, and that character is called as sprite in Scratch. So if you want to add a different character, then you can click on choose sprite option over here. So click over here, and you can see a lot of different sprites available in Scratch library. So this is a Scratch sprite library where you get a lot of different sprites. Say for example, I want this ball. So you can see there are two different sprites. One is a sprite 1, it is named as sprite 1, and one more is ball. So say I don't want this ball for some reason, so I can delete that ball also. I'll be able to delete that using this bin option. Okay, now let us see how we can add a backdrop to our output. So our output looks very empty, right? So we can add some backdrop to it. So we can click on the backdrop, choose backdrop, and here also we have a wide range of backdrops. In the backdrop library we have a lot of different backdrops. So it is loading slowly. See, you can see a lot of different backdrops here. In this backdrop library we have a lot of different backdrops. We can choose one of the backdrops here. Say I will choose blue sky. We have added a backdrop now, so you can choose any different backdrops that you want, but at the same time there are a lot of other options that you can explore on. So there is something called as a paint backdrop, and this surprise option is going to give you some different backdrops. So it is not that you are creating, it's already preloaded in your Scratch account like Scratch library, and from that one of the backdrops is going to appear for you. Or if you want your own backdrops to be there, so you can create one of them and you can also upload them over here. So this we will explore a little later, but now we'll also see like how the same way how we saw this options in our backdrops, the same way your sprites can also be done. Like you can draw your sprites, you can just select a random sprite from this surprise option, or you can also upload your own sprite. So this uploading your own sprite and drawing the sprites and all, we can explore it in our upcoming sessions, but today we will do a small animation. Okay, so Scratch is a software where you can do a lot of animations and games, and you can explore on how programming works. So let us understand what do you mean by programming first, okay, before we even do that animation, small animation. So programming is all about instructing the computer. Here the computer is nothing but our sprite, okay. Instructing the sprite to do a particular task is nothing but programming. It's like how you tell your friends to reach your home. Say for example, your friend is there, standing right in the corner of your street, and he or she wants to come to your home. So how will you guide them? So you pick up a phone and just guide them, telling that you have to walk straight for 40 meters and then take right. There you find one car, and that's my house. Then you can give me a ring, then I'll open the door and you can enter my house. So these are some of the steps that you're going to tell, right? So if your friend misses one of the step, will they reach your home? No, right? So they will end up in somewhere else. So they have to follow all your instructions properly so that they can reach your home. The same way the Scratch programming is also. So you need to guide the cat, or you need to guide the sprite to do a particular action. So you need to be knowing what is that action before we start the programming. So once you decide that what is that action that you want to do, then you have to start giving the input. Means you have to start instructing this particular sprite accordingly by drag and dropping these blocks over and over again and again. So how to do that? So let us decide one project for the day. Okay, the project is you have to animate this cat. Like the cat has to walk till this place. This is the center of the screen. It has to walk till the center of the screen. So that is the task basically. So that is our task. So let us do the task now. So how to do this task? So how will you walk? The first thing, you have to observe yourself. How will we walk? So whenever we are walking, we will be having different postures, right? So we'll be standing straight, walking, if I want to about to walk, I'll just take my right leg and then I'll put my left leg. So whenever I'm walking, I'm also like trying to cover some distance, and between each of my step I'm taking some small tiny delays which is like unnoticed. That actually decides the speed of walking, right? So if you're walking fast, then you're putting your steps very fast. If you're walking slow, you're putting your steps very slow. So that decides your speed, right? Speed of walking. So we need to observe this pattern, and the same pattern of walking we are going to apply it here also. But as I told, there are some different posture for us, but you are able to see only one posture for your cat, right? Only one position of your cat. So you have a different position also. Where you can see is, you can see that in the costumes. In costumes you can see there is costume 1 and costume 2. See how it happens? It's already like animating, right? If I keep changing this position one over the other, it's already like I'm doing some animation. So now I can automate this now. So there is posture 1 and there is posture 2, and in Scratch these postures are called as costumes. So cat has 2 costumes, this sprite has 2 costumes rather, so costume 1 and costume 2. And I'm in the code, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this costume over and over and again by moving some distance. So I'm moving 10 steps, okay, and after I move 10 steps, in looks I have some block called as switch costume 2. So I'm taking this block and placing it over here. So whenever I'm moving, I need to change my position, I need to change my posture, that is nothing but my costume, to what? So I'm in costume 1, I have to change to costume 2. That is what I'm going to tell. And then after I change my costume 2, using control, I'm just waiting for some time. So what is this wait time? Why this is required? As I told you, the small tiny delays that we are taking between each steps are going to decide whether you're walking slow or walking fast. So for that purpose we require this delay. So that is nothing but wait block. So I'm just taking a very minute delay or minute wait step, that is nothing but 0.5 seconds. Okay, so I'm just taking this only 0.5 second delay, like half the second delay, to observe how am I walking. Okay, so now after doing this, I'm going to repeat all of these things again. So to repeat all of this, one thing I can do is like again go back, take all these steps, like again I'm moving 10 steps, again changing costume to costume 1, because after this steps it would have been shifted to costume 2 like this. Maybe I'll show you now the immediate output. So it is in this position. Now I have to come back to my previous position of costume 1, right? For that reason I'm putting these blocks now. So I'm just taking wait 0.5 seconds again, and I'm clicking it. Now did you observe what happened? When I click the flag, it is walking, it is changing its position, at the same time it is covering some distance. See? Yeah, I reached my destination. But to reach that destination, like I told you, right, the cat has to walk to the middle of the screen. But to do this, I am clicking my flag so many times. I don't know how many times I did it, but I did it so many times. So that should not be the case, right? So whenever I click the flag and only one time, it has to do its job. It has to walk from the left of the screen, that is the corner of this screen, to the middle of the screen. So how to do this? So we have something called as repeat block in our controls. Okay, so what is this repeat block is going to do? So as the name itself tell, repeat block is going to repeat the number of blocks inside it. So I want these blocks to be like repeated some number of times, So I'm just directly going with this default value of 10. I'm not going to change this, but I'm going to put this cat back to the position over here. And so what is going to be repeated? It is going to repeat all of these blocks again and again. Okay, so let us see how it works now. So on the click of a flag, yay, yes, we are able to achieve the output, correct? Yes, it reached the middle of the screen. So here you go. This is your simple code to animate a character. But for a surprise, can I tell you, you can reduce this still more? You can reduce the blocks of code still more? Yes, we can do that. So again, we need to think back. So what is the logic? I have to go always to my next costume, right? If you observe, if my costume 1 is here, I have to go to my next costume. If costume 2 is here, I have to go back to this costume. So I'm always switching to my next costumes, that's all. So if you understand this logic, then you can code it much simpler. So I'm going to take out all of this. I'll keep it here, okay? So now what I'll do, I'll just move 10 steps, the same thing, okay? Instead of switching costume to a specific costume, what I'll do is I'll go to the next costume like this, and again I'm going to wait for the same time, like 0.5 seconds, like half a second. I'm going to wait. After waiting this time, so it will keep repeating this action and again, right? So can we see how it works? I'll keep this anyway as it is, and I'll just click the flag. But before that, I'll just make my cat to stand here. Yes, it is also doing the same task, but you can see it covered only like the quarter of the distance. It didn't cover till here. It didn't come to the middle of the screen. It stopped here only. So why? Because here if you see the total number of steps that I'm taking, it is 20. But the total number of steps that I'm taking is 10. So now I have to repeat it twice, right? So I have to repeat it 20 times. Hope you got this logic. It's like this. Now I'm clicking this flag, and you can see the output, how it happens. Yes, it reached the middle of the screen. So this code is also doing the same job, and these 3 blocks is also doing the same job. So basically it's not that the number of blocks that we are putting, it's matter that the logic behind it, right? So we are moving 10 steps, changing to the next costume, and waiting for some time. So if you just practice this to other sprites also, you'll be able to do the same thing. Okay, so I'm putting all of these things back, and let's apply the same thing for our other sprites also. So shall we see how it works? Yeah, so let me choose another sprite. I'll choose a bear. Okay, see, bear walking. I'll choose a bear walking. I'll keep my bear here. So when I'm going to do the same code to this bear, I'm going to put the same code to this bear. Like when I click the flag, and when I move 10 steps, I should change to the next costume, and have to wait for 0.5 seconds, and this I have to repeat it for 20 times. So this is the code I'm doing for the bear. So if I click flag, see, this is also working fine. Yay, both of them are walking. And do you want to see what are the different costumes bear has? Bear has a lot of different costumes. 8 costumes it has. So it doesn't matter how many costumes it has, but it matters to change to the next costume if it is a walking. So here we completed the first day session. Hope you have understood how to animate a character, and we will meet you in the next session to create more exciting stuff. Thank you.